What's up, my guy?
Oh, what's up, bro? How you living?
Ah, man, I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Can't complain, man. Living the life.
I
Living the life.
heard, bro. You got the vibes up here in Phoenix. You're in Phoenix, right?
I'm in Phoenix, bro. It's nice, but it's hot. It's
Yeah,
hot out
bro.
here
I bet it's. Well, what's the heat right now?
right now. I don't even know. I would assume it's about 106 at least.
Yeah, man. Yes, that's somewhere where I always wanted to go. Just to go up there and go hiking and you know
Yeah,
what I mean. Really,
man.
really.
The scenery's crazy out here. It's got all type of amazing spots to check out and the mountains of views, but it's hot, bro. It's hot, bro.
Yeah, ain't nothing like Kentucky, huh?
Now, for real, I'm heading back to Kentucky on a Friday. I'm excited to be back in town, man. I've been out here in Arizona away from my family for the last 10 months now. So I'm heading back. My birthday's Saturday, so I'm going to kick it with my family for a little bit, come back on Monday.
Man, happy birthday,
Yeah,
bro.
man, my little brother's on here right now. What up, Cam?
What up? What up, Cam? How's it going, man? Yeah, that's good. That's good. So you get to go back and see the fam. And then I'm inviting you on Facebook too. I don't know if you got access to get on there or
Oh,
not.
yeah. Let me see. If I'm on Facebook on my laptop, does that still work?
I don't know. You could
Let me
try to see. Yeah, we keeping everything real natural, man. Figure it out. So, brother, again, appreciate you being flexible because we were supposed to get this thing started 24 minutes ago.
It's all good.
Yeah, brother. But yeah, let's just get straight into it, man. So we're from the same. Well, I don't think you're originally from Kentucky. You're from Mississippi.
Yes, sir. But I've been in Kentucky since I was about, what, 8th grade, 9th grade? Yeah. So it's been a while. I'll say Kentucky's home.
Right. Cool. So we're both from the Bluegrass State, man, and similar interests. We've always supported each other from a distance and always had that mutual respect. But for people that may not know you, just kind of tell them your story, man, because you do got some things you've overcame and it's made you a better person, which I definitely respect. Start off from Mississippi. How do you make the transformation to Kentucky?
Yeah, man. So from Mississippi, grew up in cliche story where I should have been dead or in jail. Same story we hear all the time, but that was really where I grew up. So growing up there was tough. Lots of violence, poverty, not really much to look forward to. Luckily, my mom moved us out of Mississippi, and we took off and came to Kentucky. Coming there, I got exposed to a total different environment, lots of new people, lots of new ways of life. People who had things to look forward to, people who own businesses, just different things. I went to a great school at E-Town. I'm sure you know a little bit about E-Town, but they are not a private school, but they're an independent school, a little bit different than public. So a great school system I went to. Just coming up, I played sports for the most part, but unfortunately, when I went off to college football, man, I tore my ACL. That got cut short. They pulled my scholarship. So if you guys don't know, if you're playing sports right now, you're just a number. The second you get hurt, you're out of there. They'll replace you. So
I had three of them now.
yeah,
Three ACLs, bro. It was a wrap.
crazy. Man, so I tore my ACL, and that was like the end of football for me. So once I lost sports, I'm like, I don't know what to do. But I had always been that kid, that's curious about business. When I was 6 years old, I was the one knocking doors. Let me cut your grass for $10, $20. Let me, hey, I got lemonade. Hey, I got Kool-Aid frozen in the cup. It's icy pops. You want one? 50 cents. Right? That was always me, and I was always just very curious and fascinated by business. Jumped right into business when I got out. So when I, finished school, I got into network marketing first with Jeremy Taylor from your city. So, got into network marketing, learned some great skills, some business skills, learned about personal development, started reading my first book I read my first book when I was 18. Now I've read hundreds of books, and they've changed and transformed my life through the personal development and just really fell my way forward. I've been in 15 plus different sales jobs, just learning, looking for the right one, looking for the right compensation plan, looking for the right mentors, looking for the right opportunity, that right vehicle to get me where I wanted to go. And not even 10 months ago in November, I moved out to Arizona for an opportunity, and this time it clicked, and I just blew up, and I feel like I'm at home now. So that's kind of the short version of where I've come from and where I'm at now.
Yeah, absolutely, brother. And then we met mutually through JT. So shout out to him. If he might watch us later, shout out to JT. But yeah, I think that's that's great, man, because you know, typically when people want to start or get involved in something, especially entrepreneurship and business, they always want to wait until the right time, you know, until everything's figured out, until everything appears, you know, but you just can't do that. You know, you like you said, you got to fail forward. And then you kind of had, I guess, the hustler gene, you know, as a youngin, you know, as well, already going out, adding value, offering your products to people, you know, which is a very similar pattern that I see amongst, you know, not only successful people, but people that are on their journey and, you know, heading there, right? So that's awesome, bro. So talk about, you know, just, so you did a couple of different companies, multiple companies.
Yes, sir.
What do you feel like, what was the biggest thing you learned from your failures? And then secondly, what did each role have in common? Like each value of the organization or each, you know, dynamics or principles that you took from each one to kind of build who you are today. So that's like a 2-part question.
Yeah, man, I kind of summed up in one. So honestly, I think a lot of people get stuck in like this analysis paralysis stage where, you know, they just keep seeking so much information and they don't make any moves. So for me, I've never been afraid to take a risk. I never, like when I moved out to Arizona, even coming out here, I came out here with less than $1,000 in my bank account. And you know, if you watch the video on my story, I slept in my car for a little bit for what I've created now. You know, so I always knew that at the end of the day, if it didn't work out for me, I would go back to the other 99% of Americans, which is living a normal life. So it's like, hey, at the end of the day, if it doesn't work out, I'll go back home to my mom's basement. And all the friends that I graduated with, they also already at their mom's basement, so it's really not even a risk, right? So in terms of the failures, you know, what I kind of learned from it and the way I sum it all together is you never know like what that thing is. I think so many people get stuck looking for that thing. So where I'm at right now, the vehicle I have right now, I know for a fact I'm gonna make $1 million next year, like cash. I know I will. Now, I only found this through other avenues. Every single thing that I did, the other 15 different, you know, sales jobs I did, every single one of them taught me a different skill that I use right now in this current business. When I first started off with network marketing, in this business right now, or doing these things that I'm doing right now, we do something called edifying someone. I learned how to edify someone through network marketing. Then I get into, you know, insurance sales. I learned how to go. The first company I was with, they didn't have any leads provided, so I learned how to go hunt and fish and eat what I kill. So if I wasn't willing to get, you know, become an extrovert and go communicate and talk to people, introduce myself, shake a man's hand, look him in the eyes, tell him what I want, then I couldn't get to the next step in my life. When I learned e-commerce, I learned how to run Facebook ads. Guess what? I'm using Facebook ads in my business now to grow my business. So every step, it taught me a different thing. On one company, it was all pure cold calls. I learned how to make a call. Some were inbound calls, the company I was with. I learned how to do inbound calls. I did door-to-door pest control. I learned how to knock on someone's door and how to, you know, create urgency. Make someone sign up for a product or a service that was unwanted. So every single sales job I ever did, it was not the goal of I want to sell pest control, but I was looking for, you know, the actual skills in the job that I could pay attention to. So, you know, when I read these books, people like Richard Branson, he said, if you can go door to door and do sales for 2 years, it's equivalent to getting a freaking Harvard degree in communications. So I said, bet, I'm not in college, I don't want to pay for it. So let me go ahead and knock some of these doors and see what happens. And I learned communication skills. I learned how to, you know, bridge that gap between the hood and corporate America. So now I know how to act. Now I know how to talk to people. Now I know how to communicate. I can be in the hood. I can be in corporate America with CEOs, millionaires, and they would not even know, right? But every little job, every little sales gig I did, it led me to the next thing. So for most people who are there, you know, they're currently looking for something, they don't know what they want to do, stop looking for the end goal and just do something. Because every time I did something, it led me to the next career and the next career. Then I met somebody, well, come try this. Then boom, boom, boom. And it led me to where I'm at right now, to where I'm going to clear $250,000 this year. So, you know, I say just take the action, and that's how I learn by just failing forward, but not even failing because I'm looking for a certain skill in whatever I'm currently doing that's going to propel me forward for the next thing, if that makes sense.
Yeah, 1,000% does, bro. And that's gems right there. So I think if we dissect that, man, you dropped a lot of gems. You really did. Dissecting it, for one, man, the journey of 1,000 miles starts with one step. So like you said, just get busy doing it. And again, bro, I have a lot of respect for you because one, we're from the same, state, pretty similar towns, know the same people, but we got very similar backgrounds. Like same way with me, I was a young father at 15, got addicted to drugs, had to leave Camelsville, literally 80 some dollars in my pocket. Within 3 days, I'm knocking doors for a waste management company, going door to door, in and out of different companies. And, as you talked about with Russell Branson, or not Russell Branson, I'm sorry, but
Richard.
Yep. Same thing with me. Like all I listened to was Uncle Grant Cardone, GC, you know what I mean? And he said a professional is someone who can travel 600 miles up, away, and build a book of business and sustain. So I took on the challenge, right? And that's the thing. I think people need to get out of their own way, especially when you're broken, right? When you're young, when you don't know what you don't know, put your faith in someone else, right? You ain't got time to try to dissect all this. What should I do? Like, go to the source, look who's successful, do whatever they say, and just do the experience for the experience. And just know that compound interest is going to pay in abundance. You know what I mean? So that's magic, bro. That's magic. Yeah, and
it's the best time to do it too, bro. If you're in the ages of 18 years old to I even say about pushing 30, that like during your 20s, for sure, like that's the time of your life where you can get with 5, 6 buddies, whatever, and live somewhere. And each one of you guys only got to come out of pocket $100, $200 to pay the bills. And you guys can all be sleeping on the floor like, yo, this is what we're building together. This is where we're going. Like, have that like-minded mindset and just go hustle. Like, that's the time where you should do it,
Right, definitely the time you should do it, man. And then, the power of broke, like Damon John talks about, especially when your back's against the wall and you got to burn bridges, and not bridges, but burn ships. And it has to work or it has to work. Like, that's the only option. Like you gotta make it work.
Yes, sir.
So I feel you, bro, and I'm like super happy for you, man. Like genuinely. So that's good. That's good. So right now you're in a great situation. You're building an amazing team. You got amazing culture around you. What is it that you were doing different, right? So, because I can look at, I'm doing okay for myself now. Definitely not where we want to be, but a lot better than we was 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
What do you feel like some of the core principle was that you're abiding by today that's getting you these results versus 2 years ago when, and tell me if I'm wrong for you, but it seems like for me, and I'm sure you can agree that opportunities, money, like it comes a little bit easier today. Like, if that makes sense. Not saying we're not hustling, not saying we're not working hard, but I guess it's the tangibles and our mindset. It comes just a little more effortlessly versus, 3-4 years ago, we knocking doors 10, 12 hours, and, you know what I mean? And it's really not income, not growing. So what do you see as the differences in mindset and intangible skill sets?
Oh man, I think looking back from just a couple years ago, even a year ago, not that far back, the difference was, I can sum it up in really 3 things. Commitment, consistency, and the vehicle you're using. Like, that's it. Like, those 3 things changed my life. So I've always been a hustler. I always would show up when my back was against the wall. If I needed to come up with my rent, I can go get it. I can go figure it out. I can use my voice. I can grab my book, go share that on the stage. So I can come up with the money. But I would constantly, get in these stages where I would do something and then I would go right back down. But this is how my life has been for the last 5 years, just like this. And now it's just steady like this. But the only difference is, I told you I did 15 different sales jobs. Well, I did all these different sales jobs and I could never commit. I could never commit partly because it wasn't the right vehicle, but also because I kept quitting on myself. Every time I got hard and it didn't work out in my favor, I'm out looking for the next best thing to make a quick buck. So a lot of times I would go in and out of different sales companies and I would come in hot. I would make a quick 5,000-10,000 and then I would dip out. I would make 5,000-10,000 and sit on it and act like I'm on top of the world. I'm over in Vegas celebrating, blowing my money. And then now it's time to get back. And I'm like, there's no motivation, right? So it was that commitment. I struggled with the commitment and being consistent in what I'm doing. And lastly, like what really changed the game for me is understanding the vehicle. There's so many people when it comes to entrepreneurship that they want to own. They want to own. They want to own. There's nothing wrong with owning, but when it comes to life or business, for me personally, I'm all about the end game. I'm all about getting me to my time freedom. You don't got to make $1 million to live like a millionaire. You make. It's about how you're making the money. If you got $1 million in your bank account right now, first off, you're stupid because it shouldn't be sitting there. Money is meant to move. It's got to circulate, right? Now, if you are freaking owning an apartment complex and you cash flowing 50 grand a month, you're making $600,000 a year. That's not $1 million, but you can live better than a millionaire can, right? It's about the times for me. So for me, when my life blew up, I knew I found the right vehicle here to create that passive, that cash flow type of income to where every single week, I know for a fact, if I wake up and I'm alive, I'm making 5 to 10 grand this week and next week and this next week. And it's only gonna go up as I keep scaling my business because I have that vehicle now. So I think a lot of people, they get stuck on let me own. Well, I want to do my own thing. I want to be a solo entrepreneur. Well, that's amazing, but it's also becomes like a glorified job. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. If you don't do your product or service, you don't get paid. If you don't scale a real business to where you have staff, employees and whatnot, you don't get paid. So, I'm all about finding a vehicle that I can, immerse myself into, and whether I'm there or not, I can get a paycheck. So when I go home and see my family this week, if I stay there for the whole week or for the whole month, I still earn the same income. And that, I think, was the most thing that made me commit. But it was the commitment to sticking this out and seeing the vision of what's going to happen that made me do it. Because when I came here, I slept in my car for a while. But I told my mom, hey, I'm not going home until they give me an MJ contract, which is me opening a franchise. So I slept in my car for a while. I was freaking sneaking into hotels, eating their breakfast as if I was sleeping there because I didn't have any money to buy food, right? So I would go to the gym and shower there, come back in my car and kept building my business. I kept hustling. I was speaking on stages at the office and people had no idea that I was sleeping in my car. And people saying, dang, he's going to be a beast. They had no idea where I was, but I had that vision that was committed to the vehicle. And now it's like, boom, done. So now I'm using this as cash flow. Every bit of money I park it, I'm going to buy real estate. And I'm going to buy my time back through cash flow.
Right. Yep, that's all it is, bro. That's all it is. Environment's definitely stronger than willpower, man. It's crazy what you could do when you find the right vehicle, when you find the right environment, and get the right information, man. Because, and I could relate, bro. Company after company after company after company. It's one of two things typically for me that I've noticed. One is that 90-day phenomenon. It's like, you could get a company, you hit it hot, you get it rolling. But then you start noticing things ain't adding up. The leaders ain't leading no more. You know what I mean? So now, you kind of check out mentally. And then the second thing, which 9 times out of 10, this is really what it is, because we control our own destiny and, we control anything, that's around us, within us and all that. We're all connected. But the second thing is, like you said, consistency. So for me, I know anytime that if I see any type of decrease in my sales, I'm always looking at the metrics, measurements, numbers. Is my biology right? Did I do my personal development? Did I do my role play? Did I eat right? Did I go to sleep at the same time? Like, when did I wake up? Like, everything's measurable. Did I get all that? So the biology is super important as well, and like you said, it all comes down to consistency. So yeah, if anybody's taking notes, man, and I appreciate everybody on here active. Share this with a couple of people. Yo, Josh, you brought a lot of people today. You brought a lot of people out. That's good, brother. That's good.
What's up, guys?
What's good? And man, I'm gonna have to come out there sometime, man. We got to shoot some content and let people know the opportunities you got available.
No doubt, man. Anytime. You're welcome out here.
Yes, sir. All right, brother. So right now, man, tell us about what you currently have going on in the financial service industry. Me and you've talked about it personally. I've, considered going that route multiple times, and it's still, a thought in my head as well. I actually got an opportunity call tonight that I'll be hopping on because, again, I'm at a point where I'm constantly thinking about how can I do something once and continue to pay me over and over. You know, how can I leverage? How can I get my time back? And that's, you know, again, where I'm at in my life as well. So just talk about the basics of your company, what you guys do, and how others could possibly get involved if they're even the right fit. Like, what do you guys look for?
Yeah, man. So just a little bit of background on the company. Well, we are an insurance agency, so we sell life insurance to, you know, be direct. But there's 2,300 life insurance companies in America, and the company I'm with, we're the only one out of all companies that is unionized. Now, what that means is that if you're in a union, these unions go to bat. They pretty much work on behalf of all employees to protect their workers' rights, to protect, you know, their paychecks, their compensation, make sure they're not being laid off, all that kind of stuff. They're the ones that fight for no minimum wage to be raised or no lowered, whatever, right? So these unions, that would be the police officers, firefighters, vets, NFL players, MLB players, you know, teachers, doctors, nurses, whatever. Large corporations, and every year, all of these unions have something called a labor advisory board. They get together, they pick one company out of all 2,300 companies in the world. They pick one company and say, hey, you guys are going to do our benefits this year. And that company is my company. So I already knew, because I've been with 4 or 5 different insurance companies in the industry. I've seen tons of different compensation plans. So that's really what attracts me to a business, the compensation plan. And then the leaders. First, I want to know how can I get paid? And then, like, who's leading me? Like, who am I following? All right, so when I saw this compensation plan, I'm like, okay, cool. I talked to the guy who was now my roommate, which is crazy, but we was on a 20-minute phone call, and he said, yeah, this is the blah, blah, blah. I said, I'll be there in 2 weeks. I packed my bags and moved out here. And like just like that, I moved out here in 2 weeks. And people thought I was crazy, man, and I struggled in the beginning. But I knew the numbers made sense. It was logical. Numbers don't lie. The numbers make sense. I knew insurance. I knew regardless of, even if the leaders suck, I can figure it out because I have been in the industry before. So in this business, though, no, life insurance creates the most millionaires next to real estate. Real estate and life insurance. Now, the problem with life insurance and real estate in both markets is the lack of activity, meaning the lack of presentations or the lack of sales being made, right? So same thing with life insurance. People have to go knock doors, cold call leads, shake hands, mom, dad, will you buy insurance? We don't do that. So I was like, wow, you guys have leads on hand? And not only do they have leads, the president of these companies, so like the Fraternal Order of Police, so there's 44,000 unions that we represent. Fraternal Order of Police, their president of their entire union is literally having a union meeting with them every single month saying, hey, one of the agents will be calling you guys. Make sure you answer the phone. It's going to be very important. If you can qualify, we highly suggest you enroll to those programs. They're vouching for us, warming the leads up, and I'm calling you, hey, Mr. Taylor, this is Josh through American Income, taking care of your benefits. What time do you want to go over this today? And I'll sell you a policy. So I'm like, man.
And then not to cut you off, but these are people inquiring about policies already.
Correct. Yeah. These people are already they already are aware of what we're doing. So I'm like, that's cake. Like, all right, bet. Because what I come from is where I had to generate a need. I had to find someone randomly who was not even looking for life insurance and make them buy a policy. So when someone's already like a warm lead, a hot lead, throw it my way. I'll take care of it. Right. So, that's where it struck me with the sales was so easy. Like, we have a guy in our office named Talant Bain, and he's one of my boys. He comes over all the time, but dude made $86,000 selling life insurance in 1 month, in just March. Just 86 cash selling life insurance. He probably worked about 60 to 100 hours a week, but he made it 6 figures in 1 month almost, which blew my mind from the sales aspect. But I'm not into selling life insurance. I don't want to sell life insurance for my whole life. So what made me really be like, whoa, is when I saw the leadership compensation plan. So there's different levels, but for what I was focused on, which is a contract that I have right now as a pretty much a franchise owner throughout the company, it's like you get 25% of your total agency production. So what's the production looking like? Well, every month, usually it's about $80,000 of netted production. So this past month was $80,000 we did in production, my agency, my team. So to put it into perspective for you, our expectations for our agents, Like we expect you to do $4,000 of production. The average sale is $1,200 of production. That's about 3 or 4 sales in a week. You can do that in one day. We expect that every agent does $4,000. Well, if you had just five people doing $4,000, that's $20,000 of production in a week. When you do $20,000 production in a week, there's 4 weeks in a month. That's $80,000 of production. Well, what's $8,000 times 25%? That's 20 grand, right? So you get 25% of the total agency production with 5 people. I don't have 5 people. I have 56 people. So when I saw that, I'm like, I can go recruit people. I can go find people. I'm great at using my mouth. I understand psychology. I'm great at speaking. I'm great at casting visions. I can go find people and recruit. I have that skill from network marketing, right? So again, it goes back to, I told you, everything played a role now. So I went out and started recruiting people. Everybody in this business, they're building their business. They're doing an amazing job. But, I scaled it to 50 people in 5 months. There's people who've been here for 2 years and they have 6 people. I'm like, what's going on?
Playing with it, huh?
Man, when I saw the opportunity, I lit up. Like, let's go. I'm gonna retire my mom.
Yeah, they playing with it.
I'm about to retire my mom. Every time I step outside, hey, my name is Josh Williams. What do you do for a living? Like every second.
Yes.
Like, I'm gonna build this business, man. So the compensation plan, it blew my mind. The way they pay us is like, if there's anything close to getting rich quick, like a get rich quick scheme is what I'm doing now. So I leaned into it, and next year, realistically, I'm gonna clear $1 million, like cash. I'm gonna buy an apartment complex and retire my mom on it, and then I'm gonna employ my sister with it and make her the property manager, take care of my family. So well, you're on my phone right now, but I have the vision, like I have the apartment complex that I'm gonna buy, and like I'm so just into it, and I'm so just like non-stop motor going on and on and on, because the apartment complex I'm going home to buy is the same apartment complex that my little brother was shot and killed at. I'm gonna buy that, and I'm gonna revamp it. I'm gonna give it to my mom next year. Like, I'm dead set on making $1 million next year, cash. So that's kind of what we're doing. That's where we're heading.
Right. And then with the fact that y'all are running the marketing, bro, and the Facebook ads, and y'all got the full funnel, that's the game changer, bro. And I know we're right here neck to neck, bro, because we've had a lot of conversations. But when you can utilize that marketing, bro, and really generate them leads, and the follow up is no longer, all day, but it's automated. It's adding value. It's not chasing, but it's man, that definitely changes things, bro. So I'm super proud of you, man.
I really appreciate that, bro.
Yes, sir. That's good. That's good money, man. What are the 3 misconceptions of life insurance? Or I guess misconceptions is the right word.
Yeah, not necessarily understanding how it works. Yeah, I'll give you a couple.
Right. Or facts, fun facts.
Yeah, man. So with life insurance, for one, well, first and foremost, go buy some. Go buy. Like, I don't care who you are, go buy some, because you're gonna have to. There's one thing that's guaranteed. For one, it doesn't really make sense to me that people have insurance on their vehicle. But what's the likelihood of you getting in an accident, a car accident? Well, slim to none. It's less than 50%. But let's say if it was so high to where they were going to get in a car accident 50% of the time they drove the car. That's half the time. Well, what's the likelihood of you dying? 100. So you're insuring something that you're probably not going to have a wreck on, but you're not insuring your life. So here's the thing that wealthy people understand is life insurance is a given. You can come from nothing and create wealth for your family by just simply purchasing a life insurance policy. So you can work a normal job, work 9 to 5. You can be a McDonald's worker your whole life. Don't do anything, just retire as normal, not really have any money yourself, but simply purchase a life insurance policy. That way, when you die, which will happen, your company receives $1 million. I mean, you're not your company, your family receives $1 million. So now your family, they're millionaires because you just cared about them to a point where you're willing to spend $100, $200 a month. So first and foremost, you guys, if you want to create generational wealth or change the trajectory of your family's life, like your child's life, their children's life, your grandchildren's life, buy life insurance. It's the easiest and most guaranteed way to do it. So number 2, when you do buy a policy, understand that there's different types. So pretty much in a broad sense, there's term and there's whole life. Whole life policies, you pay for your whole life, to make it very simple. And it also builds a cash value. So that means that when you put money into it, it's like a savings account. it's better off when you buy a life insurance policy than having money sit in your bank account. Because when it sits in your bank account, it grows at what, 0.001% interest or whatever. When you buy life insurance, bro, most companies have at least 3% or above. Mine is 4.5% per quarter, not even per year, per quarter. So, no, you're making a lot of money by just simply buying life insurance. And the result is either you're going to take that money out later on, it's going to grow for you, and you're going to use it for a down payment or something on a car, on a house, your child's education, or worst case scenario, you don't wake up tomorrow and your family's taken care of. So you protect both sides. Now, here's the thing about life insurance, though. What people don't know is when you purchase life insurance, it doesn't matter what type of policy you have, how long you have it. Life insurance has something called a standard claims process. So when someone in your family dies and they have life insurance, even though they have life insurance, it goes through a process where you need a certificate of death, a death certificate. You need a coroner's report, all these different documents that you turn in to your company and say, hey, here's the documentation you needed to prove that someone has died. Now, once that happens, they gather all this information. The first thing they're going to do is put you into this exclusion department with life insurance companies. They're going to look through all the exclusions to make sure all the fine print's there. They want to make sure that they can, they want to try to figure out a way to not pay you. That's what they're trying to do. But once they get through that process and they made it through, they're going to pay you that money within 6 weeks to 2 years on average. On average, the average payout is 2 months. The reason I know this is because I personally buried my little brother 2 years ago. And when we did this, we had a policy through State Farm, which is very well known, advertised every single day, large company. Through State Farm, it took us 2 months to pay out. Well, that's not too bad, but guess what the problem is? The funeral home doesn't wait 2 months for their paycheck. Like when my brother died, the funeral was that week. We couldn't hold the body on ice for 2 months. The funeral was that week. Therefore, hey, I remember walking into that funeral home, sitting down with my mom and my dad, and they said, well, how do you guys plan on paying for it? I'm like, bro, come on, like, And I told my mom, like, go to the car. Me and my dad, luckily, had the money to put together and take care of it. But the average family has less than $1,000 in their bank account. If their tire pops right now, they're screwed. So, that's what people don't understand about life insurance is, even though you have life insurance, it's going to take almost 2 months to pay out. So you're gonna be doing GoFundMes, car washes, Facebook stuff, whatever you gotta do to collect this money. And you typically only raise about $2,000. That's not enough for a funeral. So that means credit card, that means debt, that's bad. So you have to do all that plus on top of grieving. That's another reason why I was like, yo, this company is amazing that I'm with because we're unionized. So when someone dies that has a policy with us, it pays it within 24 hours. So now I feel great about what I'm doing because I'm already passionate about it because I went through the process with my little brother. So now I'm like, hey, you guys have a crazy comp plan. You pay out within 24 hours, and I can scale this business and make $1 million next year, realistically. Sign me up. But, that's some tips about different life insurance policies people don't know.
Yeah, that's a fact. Yo, I didn't even know that. Yo, they pay out 24 hours, within 24 hours.
Yep.
It's crazy. I've never heard that. Ever.
Yep. Unionized. Because it's all based on contracts with us. Because if we work with fraternal police, for example, how many police officers do you think are in the world? Well, probably 1 million plus. Well, the way that the company works is they say, hey, either you can pay this one claim out overnight, like quick, or you can lose the entire union. It wouldn't make any sense for them not to pay it out, so they pay quick.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, that's good. That's good info, bro. Yeah, it's King Justin says 80% of Americans don't have 1K to their name. Absolutely.
My boy. Yeah, he's one of our agents. My boy, Justin. Yes, sir.
My man. If you got 1K to your name in your bank account, just drop a 1K in the comments real quick. No, I'm just playing. You ain't got to do it. Yeah, it might get quiet. Yeah, man. No, that's good information, bro. That's really good. Well, I know you're super busy, bro. I just wanted to, get you on here. I know you're doing some great things, so I just wanted to share your message. It's super genuine, everything you're doing. You've been working hard, and you're definitely leveling up every year, bro. So it's exciting, again, just to know people from our area, the circumstances we come from, and all the trials and tribulations we had to overcome. And now, we talking $1 million goals, like see it clearly, like no hesitation, not hesitant, like it's gonna happen because we've been exposed to the information in the system. So that's good, bro. And I really wish we could have got it rocking on Facebook, man. I think this would have been super helpful because I know we got a lot of audiences.
Yeah, man, we have to go again sometime on Facebook instead. Whenever you want, we can lock it in and go on Facebook for sure.
Okay, that's a bet, bro. Yeah, bro, and seriously, man, I'll come. I've never been to Phoenix, so anytime y'all got some downtime, man, I'll definitely fly out there. You know, I'll get of course, my own little place and all that, and just kick it, man. And we can definitely link up.
No doubt, man, for sure. We'll link up, and like I said, I appreciate you having me on the call, even just like respecting what I've built and just noticing the change and the growth in me, bro. I see the same thing in you. I love what you're doing. I love what you're building for your family. I love how I see you interacting with your family. Like I always peep your videos and your posts. I can tell you like you really love like what your kids and your wife. So that's amazing, man. Let me know however I can get back to you. I want to pick your brain sometime about the podcast too. I need to start one. You know, I got to start getting any avenue I can of getting my voice out there, more attention, you know, to be able to build my brand. So I'm gonna get with you on that as well. But thank you for having me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. I got you, bro. No doubt. I'm gonna give you a connect that you can literally simultaneously. I'm talking about like I'm gonna take this video. Yeah. My man's gonna break it down. It's gonna be like 10, 12 pieces of content, plus a podcast, plus a blog, plus an audio. I'm gonna give you the connect. I got you.
That's crazy. Okay, cool, bro. I appreciate that.
Yes, sir. Let the people know where they can find you, man, and how they can connect with you.
Yeah, man. So pretty much on all platforms. Typically, I only use Instagram the most, but any platform you search me at that man J Will. So at symbol that man J Will. You guys can connect with me. Shoot me over a DM. If you guys don't know, I am an author. I wrote a book. It's called The Blueprint, right? So how to transform your life. There's a lot of different things in there. Some about just happiness, some about your spirituality, some about business, entrepreneurship. But it shares my journey, where I come from. If you hit me in the DMs, I'll get you guys a free copy of my book as well.
Absolutely. Yep. So that's that, guys. If you want a free copy of the book, hit up Josh. He's gonna send it to you. And other than that, man, we can end it. We can end it right, brother. Anything you need, let me know, man.
My God, appreciate that, bro. All love.
I see you, brother.